What's up, everyone? Welcome to another cracka crumbs update. This update doesn't have to do with any unboxing or any of the new comics I got, so if you want to see that stuff, you're going to have to wait for another update or another episode. Um, this update actually has to do with a couple of things. I want to thank all my subscribers, and especially the new ones, which I will name later. I really appreciate you guys subscribing and taking the time to watch my stuff. It does mean a lot. It means that I'm actually doing something right, that people actually like what I'm doing, so thank you. Thank you very much, and I will name some of the new subscribers later, so stay tuned. This update's also to talk about a couple questions I've been getting lately. I figured I'd answer them as a video instead of just typing, because it's more fun this way. And also, I made a new intro for cracka. I used to have two separate intros, one for cracka and one for crumbs and the updates, stuff like that. I just kind of made a one intro, which I am going to tweak a little bit, so don't get too attached, but I figured also, rather than constantly putting it in front of each episode, which was taking time out on the updates, stuff like that, I just put it in the featured section so you can watch whenever you want. I like it. I thought it was cool, but I might change a little bit because I might want to add a few things. But for now, it's going to stick around. Now, on to one of the questions I've been getting lately from friends and from people on YouTube on the channel. It's basically, it has to do with CGC. Again, I'm not a professional grader. I'm never going to be. But I have learned a few things over the past couple of months, which is cool, since I started buying a couple of CGCs. People are asking me, what's the difference between CGC and the PGX? Am I getting ripped off if I buy PGX? It's crazy. But from what I learned, like I said, hopefully this will help, especially my friends that are watching so they know. CGC, I'm going to use this as an example. This is my first CGC that I ever got, which was the first appearance of Hobgoblin. And as you can see on the top, it says CGC Universal Grade 8.5. Tells you all the stuff you want to know, and then, of course, the little CGC color logo over here, and it gives you all the stuff and all the information. Again, people are asking, like, what's the difference? I might get ripped off. CGC, basically, it stands for Certified Graded Comic, or Guaranteed Comic, or something like that. I think it's guaranteed. Certified Guaranteed Comic. There we go. That's CGC. Then they have the PGX, which I don't have any right now. I'm actually bidding on a few of them online, so I guess we'll have to wait and see so you can see a comparison. But PGX is Professional Grading Experts, something like that. Now the difference, if you do look on it, on eBay especially, CGC usually goes for more money, and PGX usually kind of like, if this was $300 for a CGC, an example, which I'm not going to say it's $300, but an example, just to give you a point. And CGC $300. PGX might go for 100, 150, half of that. The reason is, for some reason, people don't trust PGX. They always like, it's a knockoff brand. Basically, it's kind of like the same thing like with PlayStation and Xbox and Nintendo and Sega. It's the same kind of thing, just a different company. CGC was the first company to come around and actually grade comics. They figured, they stepped up. They said, what the hell, we're going to grade comics. And then when they started making money, other companies stepped up and said, hey, we can make money too. Let's do it. And that's pretty much what happened. CGC and PGX are pretty much the same thing. PGX does just as good a job as CGC, and most of the time it is a lot cheaper. Especially when you send them the stuff. I have learned, like I said, when I went to a convention, I was going to CGC a couple of my stuff, and when I found out how much it costs, to me at the particular point, it really wasn't worth it. Because if you give them one comic, it is expensive. It all depends on like how old it is and this, and signed, and it has to be signed a certain way, and they have to witness the signing and all this crap, and it's just annoying. And but if you send them a lot of stuff at once, you save money, or if you become a member or whatever it is, you save some money. So it's something to look into. CGC stuff is cool in a way because it does protect your comics. I mean, it's pretty solid. It's not really airtight, but it does slow down the process of like aging better than a standard poly bag or a standard comic bag or Mylar or whatever the hell it is. But anyway. Again, it's all your personal preference. Like I said, like PlayStation versus Xbox. If you like Xbox better, get the Xbox one. If you like PlayStation, get PlayStation. Same thing. CGC, PGX, same stuff. What you really want to look for, especially if you're going for graded stuff, is if things were restored or not. If they were restored in any way, it's not that it's going to be worthless, but it's going to be worth a hell of a lot less than what it would be if it was unrestored. Like this is unrestored in 8.5. So again, we're going to use this as an example. If this was worth $300 unrestored, if it was restored in any way, it'd probably be worth about maybe 50 to 60 bucks, maybe 70, maybe a little more, but nowhere near as what it would be worth if it wasn't messed with. So that's what you got to look for too. Again, with stuff like that, like PGX and CGC, they tell you everything you need to know on there. You know, if it was a first appearance, it tells you who did the story, who was the art, you know, white pages, off the white pages, whatever, the year, all that stuff. If something's messed with it in any way, it'll tell you. It'll tell you on the top of the thing, it'll say, you know, it was restored. It'll tell you there was added staples, there's tape on the cover, or whatever. It gives you all the lists, so it's cool to always check that out before you buy any kind of CGC. And especially if you're in a comic book store, not only, like I said, check the top, but look at the actual book itself, because in case they miss something, which I doubt they would, but you never know, it's just a good idea to just look it over and decide for yourself. Moving on. Another question I got was, it's kind of funny, was how much do you think your comic book collection is worth? And it's funny because people always ask like that have seen my entire collection, and I did a couple questions, you know, my friends, and like, oh, how much stuff worth, you know. The way comic books are lately, you never can tell. I mean, I always tell people go for the Overstreet price guide because it gives you the accurate description and price of something. Then you kind of judge from there. Again, but the way comics are lately, it's been going like stuff. I've seen stuff that is worth like $100 going for $300 to $600 online. I've seen comic book stores sell $100 books for a couple thousand. You know, it's insane the way the markup on things, especially the way the economy is. People are trying to get more money and for items, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But if you go into a store or you go online and you know what you're looking for and you know what you're trying to buy, it's up to you. It really is. Like, I mean, I bought a couple comic books recently that I probably did overpay a little bit on, but to me it was worth it because I wanted to have it in my collection. Not just to say like, hey, look what I got, I have it, but it's just one of those things that I've wanted, a couple ones that I've wanted for a really long time, and they were still way cheaper than the other thing. You'll see it. You'll see hopefully in the next week or so. You'll see what I'm talking about. I have sold a couple comics that I did regret, but at the time I was strapped for cash, and it was either get food or you know, or starve to death, or you know, pay the rent, or get thrown out. And I had to sell a couple comics that it was like tearing off an arm, because if you're a collector, you know what it's like. You know, you don't want to get rid of your stuff. You want to just, you know, you love it so much. I did sell my Amazing Spider-Man 129, which was the first appearance of the Punisher. It was, if I had to have graded it, probably would have been like a 9.6, 9.7, give or take, maybe a 9.8. It was in great condition. Had to sell it, and it's funny because I'm unfortunately I have a conscience, so the person that bought it for me was trying to pay a lot more than what it was worth. So I actually told the guy that, it wasn't graded. It wasn't a graded comic. It was strictly, you know, in the regular bag. And I was just saying what I thought it was would be graded at. And I told him I'm not a grader, you know, so what I think it is. Take a look. I let him look at the entire book. And this was a while ago anyway. And, you know, at the time it was going for a fortune because of the way the Punisher movie had come out, and you know, a couple of the Punisher, you know, the second one or something like that, and like I said, with any, we'll get into that later. Let me say big update. But anyway, I sold it for a pretty good price, where I made a little bit of money off of it, and I didn't charge this guy like what he was willing to give me, which I'm not going to get into the whole price thing because that's. But anyway, let's just say I made $5 more than what the book was worth, which I could have made $300 more than what the book was worth, but I told him it wasn't, you know, it's not worth that much, and but I had to make a little bit of a profit, you know, because what I bought it for, then, you know, so on. So like I said, I'm not a greedy, evil bastard. I mean, I really could have ripped the guy off, but I'm not going to do it. So that's what you got to watch out for when you go to buy stuff. But me, like I said, I have a conscience. I'm a good person. I'm not going to rip somebody off. I'm just not going to do it, no matter what the price. Unless somebody said, you know, I'll give you $1 million for like a $200 book, then it's tough. But I would still do the right thing, unfortunately, and I wouldn't take it. But anyway, another good example, like I was saying, with just that, like with the Punisher movies and stuff came out and how things go through the roof. The the way comics are, when the X-Men came out, when I was working for a comic book store, my boss didn't know how it was going to go. But when X-Men hit and was making money, people were going nuts over everything X-Men. Every day I had to come into work, and every day my boss would be like, "Oh man, you got to go and bring more X-Men stuff up from the basement. You got to bring more X-Men stuff in. You know, all the toys, the comics, the books, posters, everything. Just put it everywhere you can, get a spot." And every day the stuff was sold out, and every day I have to go back in and stock up. We'd have to restock on the X-Men. It was nuts. And then was it 2002? I wasn't working for a comic book store, but I know a lot of comic book store owners, and I was talking to them. When Spider-Man hit, they couldn't keep Spider-Man stuff in stock. It was insane, and people were paying. A couple comic book stores the people I know, I mean, there are good people, but I guess if you're gonna make your profit, make your profit. People were paying like ridiculous amounts for comics that were nowhere near worth what the comic book stores were charging. But hey, to each their own. So you got to be very careful. And like I tell people, like even look at Batman. I showed you a couple Batman comics that I got. People were going nuts over Batman stuff. If you wait a year, Batman stuff will go straight down, and then it fluctuates. It's up and down. But whenever a movie comes out or is coming out, the stuff goes up. Everybody's looking for it. So you got to be aware of that stuff. But moving on. I've talked enough about that, but I love talking about it, so I just go on and on. Forget the time. But I'd like to thank a couple of the of my new subscribers. Again, like I said, I really appreciate everyone subscribing. You all know who you are. A couple of new people. King Joe. Excuse me. Very impressive collection. It's insane. I was watching your videos, and I'm impressed. Very impressed. Like every section you have, it's just an unbelievable number. Where it's like Amazing Spider-Man number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, and it just continues. It's impressive. Very impressive. The only person I've seen with a better collection that I've seen so far is Captain Strangelove. That guy's got a collection. But moving on, Batman Comic 87. Awesome videos, my friend. Awesome videos. I'm a Batman fan. You have a lot of great Batman comics you got there, so keep them in good shape, and keep the videos coming. You got good stuff. Curse of Man, just started watching your videos. Very impressive. Mongo Stomptime 07 is always talking about you, so I checked you out. Very cool videos. Very impressive. I love your stuff. Love your background on the channel. Very cool. So thanks for subscribing. White James Brandon, just started watching a couple of your videos. Very, very cool. Good stuff. Good background. Liked it. Optimus Comics, appreciate the subscription. Awesome stuff. Just watched a couple of your X-Men videos. Very, very cool. And last but not least, colorfully random. I'll get the thing eventually. She's actually an artist. Very impressive stuff. Love the videos. Love the work. Keep it up. And that's it for my new subscribers. I'm out of it today. It's because I don't have an unboxing. I'm so usually unboxing or videotaping my collection lately. It's throwing me off. But anyway, again, fun thing is I do have a lot of my comic book collection videos still coming up. I did tape a lot. I've been working. Working hard on it, getting it done. It's just been a lot of very hectic. A lot of stuff's been going on lately that I have to take care of, and so my stuff's kind of going up slow. But the last episode you watched, it was basically it's my continuing my X-Men collection with X Factor and stuff like that. And so the next video is going to continue with that. And quite honestly, I haven't even seen. I'm not even anywhere near half of my collection. There's just so much. Even with the videos I've done so far, and the ones I'm still taping, it's still not even half. So thanks for watching, and I hope you like the videos as much as I like making them and the updates, stuff like that. I really do appreciate the subscriptions. I really do. It makes me happy that people actually like my stuff, and it makes me feel like I'm actually doing a good job. So I hope you like the new intro if you watch the featured thing, and then hopefully this video helped a little bit with CGC. Like I said, I'm not a professional grader or anything. I just what I heard. And if anyone has any information on stuff like that, leave comments. I love the comments. And if you like what you see, hit the like button. If it's first time watching this, check out my other videos. You will not be disappointed. And I'll see you guys on the next update or the next episode, whichever comes first, whichever I put up. But tomorrow I should, if I'm lucky, I should be getting another shipment from eBay. I'm hoping. I've been waiting. It's supposed to come tomorrow or Wednesday, I believe, whichever, one of the two. But hopefully by the end of the week, by Friday or Saturday, I should have that Ultimate book I was telling you about. Uh, and it's not what you think. It's not an Ultimate Spider-Man or Ultimate X-Men at all. It's the Ultimate book, but you'll see. Anyway, see you next time. Later, everybody.